Hi everyone, welcome to the BISP Solutions. Today we are going to do the topic FCCs data loading. So let's begin. First we'll go to the application. We'll open a new one. So first we'll go to the application. From application we'll go to overview. So first we are going to see how do we load data into FCCs using bulk data loading. And under bulk data loading also we'll be seeing data loading on demand or through scheduling as well. So first of all, we'll see how do we load the data on demand. So first of all, I'll export a data file, which I'll have to create. So location is the location where we want the data file to be exported from the system to a local system or to the inbox outbox folder under the application. Our cube would be console. File type is comma delimited. Smart lists is okay. Dynamic members I'll exclude. Decimals we can give as per our requirement. Then we'll select what we want under the rows in our exported data. So under the rows, I want account as my dimension. And under account, I'll select the balance sheet. And this is the balance sheet under the traditional approach. I'll select all its descendants, level 0 descendants, and click on OK. Then I'll have to select the columns. So under the columns, I'm going to select period. And under period, I'll give the period as year total and its level 0 descendants. So that will give me all the quarters. Then this is the point of view. It's very important. So the point of view would be the exact point of view in which we want the data to be loaded or to be exported uh, into our data file. So here I'm going to select as FY15. Scenario you can give as per your requirement. I'll be doing on actual as the entity is mine that I have created. View, I want the view as periodic. Currency can be any one of these. I'll give entity currency. This is very important. The entity for which we want the data to be exported. So this is my series C600. I'll select C601. Under the movement, I want the movement as no movement. I'll take it as no movement and can load the data on no movement and check. Data source would be data input. Then from here, the remaining dimensions also I'll have to define. So under the consolidation, I'll give the same as entity input. Under entity total, there is entity input. Intercompany, I'll keep it as no intercompany. Multi-gap, right now I want local gap, so I'll just select local gap. Then in the product, I'll go with no product for the time being and just click on, okay, 1 second, I'll just check. Yeah, all have been defined. So I'll just click on OK and click on export. Data is getting exported. See, here is the CSV file that it has exported. So we'll just open and see if all the dimensions and the rows and the columns have been appropriately exported or not. Yeah. So I have data in all these accounts. Therefore, it has exported these accounts. And along with that, it has exported the data that is already there in these accounts. So it will, although I have selected the whole balance sheet under the account dimension, but it will show me the accounts only for which the data has already been stored. Some or the other data is there, like for January month, it has some data for February, March, April, etc. So it will export only those accounts for which the data is already stored in the application. The point of view is the same that we have given there. So we'll be able to see data on this point of view. It means the data which is already there under the application has been stored under this point of view. And the cube is console. So now, if I want to make any changes in this data or add data for the remaining months for which the data is not there or is missing, so I can do this. So I'll select a particular account, let's say, or any account, or uh, this is the revenue account. So if I want to change my data for January, February, March, in case I give 5,000 here, 6,000, similar figures, 7,000. Thousand. See, I have changed the data for the months January till April, but May, June are still the same. And also, I'll do some data input in this one as well, in this account. I'll leave for the month of April. Okay. So I have changed some of the data, and now I'm going to save it as CSV file. I'll just save it on my desktop. Data loading. CSV. So you'll have to give such a name which you can easily recall, because while scheduling, we'll have to give the exact name in the application. Now we'll go back to the application. And we'll just, first of all, we'll see how the data is imported on demand. So I'll go to import data from actions, click on create. Location is local. Import, we'll be seeing both of these cases. So I'll just import accumulation type, let it be none for the time being. The source file I'll have to select from the desktop, that is data loading. Data loading 1248, yeah. Then I'll just validate the same. Import job submitted successfully. Okay. Then I'll just click on close and check under the jobs, my job status. It's processing. Import data is also processing. In the meantime, I'll just create one smart view. So I'll be able to see my data here, the data which I have imported right now. I'll be able to access it from here. So for that, I'll have to give the exact POVs which I have defined while importing the data. Data source, data input. Consolidation is entity input. Intercompany was no intercompany. Multi-gap is not there. It's local gap. It's no product. Just click on refresh. The year was FY15. periods. I'll have to give multiple periods. Entity was C601 and the accounts, we can see all these accounts here. Okay, this I'll keep on pivot. Hmm. I'll just copy and paste it for the remaining months as well. And now I'll select all the accounts which I want to see. Click on refresh. No, sorry, I have. Hmm. So right now, okay, the job has been completed and it's showing multiple figures. Okay, I'll just cleanse my data. It's March, it's April. Now I'll just try to copy it here. May, June, July. Okay, now it's fine. So I just click on refresh. See, it has, I believe the job would have been completed by now. That's why it's showing the updated data. See, it's completed. And now we can see the exact figures that we have changed in our data, in our exported file, 5,000, 6,000, and all we have changed, but 15,000 was the same. I have not made any changes. So it will show the same figure here, 15,000. The rest of uh, the figures I have updated in that file. So now the smart view is showing the updated figure. It means that the data has been appropriately loaded. Here also I have changed some figures. I have put missing here and 70,000 here. So all of it is updated. So this was one of the cases for on-demand data loading in case of bulk data. Now I'll just create another account. Let's see, I'll select one of the accounts. This is revenue domestic account 41. So I'll just create another account. Now I'll take up the case of merging within the data file. First of all, we have done merging with none of the accumulation. Now I'll do merging and do the merging within the data file. So I'll create another account. I'll put some figures under some of the months, 15,000. And I'll have to give the exact POVs that have already been defined for the other accounts and just save my data file. And once again, I'll have to schedule it on demand. So I'll go to overview, go to actions, import data, create. But now what I'll do, I'll select the accumulation type as within file. I'll choose my file, which is data loading file. The CSV file, I'll validate it. Then click on import. So now we'll go to jobs and see the progress. Completed. We'll go to smart view, and this was the data before this loading that I've done right now. And, I'll just click on refresh. So what it does is that it accumulates the data which was there under the two accounts, namely 41,000. So what it has done, it has accumulated it. It has taken the total of 5,000 and 1,000 as 6,000. In case I would have just selected the accumulation type as none after creating two separate rows for this particular account, then what it would have done, it would have just taken this second account, the latest account data, and it would have ignored this one. So we'll just try out that one as well. We'll again go to overview, we go to actions, import data, create, and we'll keep the merge type as none. Select the file and validate and import. Okay, just go to jobs to check the status. Completed. Now we'll see the smart view. What it will do is that it will take the data from the second row. See, it has taken 1,000, 4,000, and the all data which was there under the second row. So that is the use of accumulation type within file, that it accumulates all the data under different rows for the same account and gives us the consolidated figure. Now we'll see the on-demand replace option. So we'll go to the import data file, go to create. Now I'll just click on a replace. So my data that is there under my application right now is the data which was there in the second row. So I'll just input some other data right now through Smart View. Like I'll just put 1 lakh here, or 45,000, 66,000. For 3 months, I'll just change some data and click on submit. So what does replace do? Replace will just replace the data with the latest data for the 41,000 row that we have shown under our exported data file. So we'll see it through Smart View. See, I've changed my data. Now the data under the second row is this 1,000, 4,000, 6,000, and it is the latest row. So it will not pick the data from this one, although it will replace the data from this latest row. So we just check the results. Taken it as replace. Accumulation is none. In case I would have selected accumulation within file, then it would have replaced with the total of these two accounts. Okay. So I'll select the file, validate the same, click on import, close the same, go to jobs and check the status. Click on refresh. See, it has replaced the data with the latest of the figures under this row of revenue account. Okay. Now one more way is there for loading the data, that is through creating a job and scheduling the same. So we'll do this one next. So I'll just make some changes in my data. Okay, no changes are required. We'll see that case. We'll replace and do it within file. So it will accumulate both of the rows in our smart view. So I'll just go to overview. For this method, we'll have to mandatorily keep our data file under this inbox outbox explorer. So for that, we'll upload our data file here from our local system. Just click on upload. The file has been uploaded. After uploading the file, we'll go again to import data option, create. Now we'll select the location as inbox. And now we are seeing the option of replace within file. Here we have to give the source file name. The source file name has to be the exact name that we have given for our file along with the extension. So I guess the file name was data loading. So there's no space. So I'll also ignore the space between data and loading. Rest is okay. I'll click on save as job. Now I'll have to give the job name as well. So I'll give the job name as data loading one. Data loading. The error file is, has to be given a name as well. Data loading one. Job has been saved. Now we'll go to jobs and schedule it. So we'll go to jobs, click on schedule jobs. We want to import data and scheduling. For scheduling, we'll have to give a time zone. We can give any time zone that is available here. So we'll give the time zone which is closest to our time. That would be Kolkata. I guess here. This is the Indian time zone. So we'll select the Indian time zone. And I'll just change the time to 1:05 or 1:04. Okay. I'll have to give the name DL1. I'll give any name. Go to next. The data loading one is my file. Go to next. Click on finish. So now nothing is showing here under the recent activity, but as soon as it's 1:04, so it's 1:04 now. So I'll just click on refresh. The process has begun. Earlier when it was 1:03, at that time there was no processing going on, but as soon as it's 1:04, the processing has begun. So we can schedule our jobs the way we want to schedule by giving a time frame, and we can also create the option of running it daily, once in a month, once in a week, or in any way which you want. So now I'll just check the smart view. This revenue domestic account will change. See, now it's 6,000. So it has totaled all of the month's data. 6 plus 4, 10,000, then 13,000 and all. So these were the ways through which data can be uploaded through bulk data loading from FCCs application. Now we'll go to data loading through data management. So for that, we'll go to integration data management. So the data management tab will open up. For this, I have created a text file in my folder. So I'll just show that text file by the name of data to you. So I want for this entity this much amount under this account. So I have given the various columns, the 3 columns. I've given account, entity, and amount, and the respective data under the amount column. So we'll go through the process of data management. First, we'll go to setup, source system. So my source would be my file on the local system. Target application is consolidation application, that is Vision Console that we have in our application. We'll click on save. Then we'll go to import format and create a format for the importing purposes. Data load one IMF. You can give any name. File type is very important since our data is separated by comma. So and our data is numeric under the accounts. So we'll select the delimiter as comma and we'll click on save. Target is Vision Console, it's fine. Now we'll have to give the mappings for various columns. So account is, I'll have to open my file, text file once again so that I can appropriately map. Account is my first column. I click on save and see if it's saving. Okay, it's saving. Then there is amount. So amount, I guess, is under the third column. Then entity. Entity is the second column. So I'll just map it. Data source. I can just copy and give any field number which we want because there is no specific column for that, but we'll have to give the mapping. From currency also, I can give any number. But I'll have to write the same there. Intercompany as well. We'll give the mapping for all of these under the data load mapping in the workflow. Multi-gap. Some of the members are pre-mapped in DM when we are loading the data. So we'll see those members as well. Once I've given the mapping, I'll click on save. Then I'll create a location for my imported file. I'll click on add. Data load 1 LC. My import file I'll have to select, which is data load 1 IMF, I guess. Yeah. So you have to be very careful while selecting the names so that you can easily select from the drop downs. All of it is fine. I'll click on save so that my location gets saved. Okay, then we'll go to workflow. We'll give the mappings here as well to map the source and the target. First, I'll have to select my location, period and all. So the location, we'll click on reset, click on search. So my location is data load 1 LC. I'll click on OK. Period, you can give any period in which you want to load the data. I'll just select Jan 15 for simplicity. Click on OK. Now all the dimensions that we have to map are showing here. For the account dimension, we'll just give the like mapping and give any rule name for say 1. Click on save. So account is saved. Now we'll go to data. Data is not needed to be mapped as we'll get the data from account only. Then there is data source, which is pre-mapped under the managed data. Managed data is the data source under which we input the data through DM. So we'll see the data under managed data option only. Entity would be mapped under the like mapping as well because it's the same as that at the target. Then we'll go to from currency. From currency also we can give date like mapping only. Currency is the same. Intercompany. So here we'll have to give the mapping as no intercompany. So we'll copy the exact name that is for that member from our application. We'll go to intercompany and select no intercompany. FCCs underscore no intercompany. Just give any rule name which you want. Just click on save and go to movement dimension. So movement is already saved as net income. So we can also change the movement here, and I want to keep it as net income, so we'll keep it as net income. Multi-gap is local gap. We can change it, but I want it for local gap. Product is no product. I'm loading the data on no product. We can load it on any of the products that we have created. So for the sake of learning, I'm just loading it on this. Like the rule name can be given anything. Then save it and go to data load rule. Here we'll have to create a load rule for our data. Data load DLR1. Okay. Now we'll have to select our import format. My import format was data load 1 IMF, the latest one. Now I'll have to upload my file here. So I'll go to my system, DM, data load, and my file, data.txt. So this is my file. I'll select it, click on OK, and save it. Now after saving, I'll just execute my load rule. It will give me various options: import from source and export to target. You can also separately export it after importing, but I'll do both the things at the same time. Export, under export, I'm selecting as replace. So in case there is any data that would be replaced by this data. Okay, now I'll just click on refresh. And we can see the tick is there, and we can check the same through Workbench as well. The data has been exported. This is the staging area. It's uploaded here, so it's exactly the way we want it. Under the amount, we have the same amount as are there under our data file. Now we'll check our results through Smart View as well. I'll just create another Smart View. Click on my application, click on refresh. I have uploaded the data under C602, so I'll have to change my POVs. Periodic GT currency, no movement. Oh, sorry, I have selected changes in net income as my movement. So I'll select that. Data source is my managed data, DM. Consolidation is entity input. Intercompany is no intercompany, local gap, no product, and just click on refresh. Now I'll select the year as FY15 January. Entity is C602. I'll pivot the entity. Or we can, okay, we'll just pivot the entity. Now click on refresh. Now I'll select all the accounts in which I have uploaded my data, namely 41100, 41100, and 41180. So I'll be able to see the data that I have uploaded under the month January for these entities. See, this is the data that I have loaded through DM12 and all. So these were the two ways through which the data can be uploaded under the FCCs. In case of any queries, you can visit our website and get in touch with us. Thanks and have a great day ahead.